What is going on, y'all? Happy New Year. It's been a good 4 to 5 months since I've actually uploaded a video. I have recorded videos, I just never uploaded them. But it's a new year. I've got new goals. I've got a lot of exciting things coming up. But as of right now, I'm just gonna record this video and just record throughout the day because I have a 10-stop pickup. 10 stops, and then it delivers like 100 miles away from here. But if you're ever wondering, when you pick up fireworks from here, if you ever wonder how they get back to the factory or anything, it's me. So I got my lift gate out, got my lights combed because they're not here yet, obviously. I'm literally parked in a shopping plaza. So it's gonna be an interesting day, that's to say the very least, but let's see what the day brings us. And then obviously I'm gonna update you on everything that's been going on, but I hope all has been going well. Hope you guys had a great holiday season. And yeah, let's get to the video. So, a lot has happened. We are a few days later. For other things, you know, that's really kind of outside of my control. I'll turn this off because I don't know how loud it is. But right now, we're a few days later. The load went fine. You know, I was kind of really busy at the stops since because of the lift gate. All the operators at all those tents, they ordered pallets and palletized all the stuff and wrapped it for me. So all I had to do was literally go pick the pallets up. You know, I really feel like an LTL driver, not gonna lie to you. I was literally just picking up one to 3 pallets at 11 stops. So it wasn't really much to record because I didn't really have time to record. It took me more time to get the pallet jack off the trailer on the ground to pick the pallet up than it was for me to actually drive to the different stops most of the time. You know, because they're all really right next to each other for the most part. You know, give or take. Anyway, we're a few days later for a couple of different reasons. Didn't have time to record at those stops. The drive down, it was only 100 miles to the warehouse where I was going. So yes, I had plenty of time to record, but I wasn't really at that point. After picking up 11 stops and I think it was like 24 pallets, you know, that I had to load, and some of those were heavy. You know, I did it all by myself, so you know, I had a little help from some of them. Some of them were really heavy to put on the lift gate, but as far as putting in trailers, securing everything else, like, I did it all myself. So I was tired. I didn't feel like recording after I was done. And then I had to shut down for a day or two, day and a half, whatever, and I had to deliver on Monday. Today's Tuesday. Reason for all of that, very briefly, I'm gonna brush over it because it's probably gonna be a separate video. But I'm at Thermo King, and the reason I'm at Thermo King is because over the holidays, my APU faulted out and essentially drained all the coolant out of my truck. And I didn't realize how bad it was until I put new coolant in the truck and the APU drained all of my coolant out of my truck. So that's a story for a different day. Right now, we're gonna catch up on the past 4 to 5 months while I'm waiting for them to come and get me. Because I'm the only one here, I don't know what's taking so long. But anyway, oh Lord, it's freezing. Also, it's really cold. It's 28 degrees in Florida right now, which is cold. Anyway, 4 to 5 months, since I last uploaded a video. I was on tour actually. Like I said, I have a couple videos that I did record. I just never uploaded them. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you why I didn't upload them. But I know on one of the tours specifically, or my longer one for the last half of last year, I actually ended up taking over as lead driver for that tour. So a lot of my time essentially went to the tour and working with the tour management team and production team and, you know, the other drivers I had. So I had free time, but the free time was actually sleep time, which I never really got to do for that tour. So that's the only thing I can think of why I never uploaded them, because I literally charged my camera last week to record that first clip, and I was like, oh, I have footage from last year. Just never uploaded. Anyway, I was on tour. I've been doing a couple tours. Like I said, I was a lead driver on a couple of them. It was actually pretty interesting. He's gonna come get me now, isn't he? Every time I start to record a video, something comes up. So now I gotta, I'll get back to you in a minute. All right, so I just had to get new paperwork, I guess, because the one I got yesterday was wrong. And that's gonna become an interesting video about that, actually, because I'm a little upset about that. Anyway, where was I at? Yeah, I was on tour. I did, shoot. What all did I do last year? I did Blink 182. I did All Time Low. I did just a one-off thing for J. Cole. I did DPR, which is a basically Korean artist. I actually really enjoyed that one. That was the one that I was the lead driver for. That was the longest one of last year. What else did I do? I did a couple stuff here and there just to keep me around the house, but for the most part, excuse me. For the most part, I was just, you know, really back and forth on a lot of stuff. But anyway, in that time, a lot of obviously exciting things happened too. So to wrap up 2024, it was probably about July. I don't know if I made a video about it or not. I can't really recall, but I paid my trailer off. So as you guys know, I got this trailer January of 2023, I want to say I got it January 2023, and I paid it off July 2024. Hooray for me. So that was super exciting, in case I didn't make a video about it. And then after that, my biggest goal and my ultimate reason for doing a lot of this stuff is, a lot of the stuff, you know, spending, you know, being out on the road and stuff like that, was, as you guys know, I've had this truck for a while now. And finally, as of December 1st of 2024, my truck is now paid off. That was probably my biggest accomplishment of 2024. So I finally paid off my truck. I have a completely clear title on my truck and my trailer both. So that's what I said. It's been, I basically, you know, put content creating to the side so I can fully focus on achieving my financial goals for 2024, and I did. And, you know, I paid all my equipment off, and to me that's a big deal for me. I mean, I'm super grateful, super happy, I'm super excited about it. So, but you know, December 25, you know, I had, you know, all the goods. There's also, you know, bads of 2024. Something happened. It was something with the truck for sure. I had some kind of repair, and I don't remember what it was. I know I made a little clip about it, but I don't remember what the actual repair was. I know my fan clutch, something relay was bad, which caused me to burn a lot of fuel, because my fan was always running. After that, I got my horsepower actually turned up. So I got my specs from Prime changed. So I got my horsepower turned up to, I think it's 500 or 505. Huge difference from 425. Okay. Very noticeable. But I thought it would affect my fuel mileage, you know, basically put it back down to where I was already, you know, as you guys have known, or if you remember, made a couple of videos where my fuel mileage, I was only getting, you know, 5.5, 6, low 6s. I got that relay fixed on my fan clutch, and that went up to like 8, like immediately. Like 7.5, you know, 7.5, high 7s, low 8s. You know, if I'm light, you know, 9s. Those are nice days. Basically getting back into my fuel mileage I used to have at Prime. So once I improved, you know, I tuned up the horsepower, I thought I was going to basically drop it back down to where it was going. Well, back up, dude. You're backing up to the trailer you just dropped from. But it didn't. It actually, it kept it up there. But, so I had that repair. Obviously the horsepower thing wasn't too expensive. It was like 500 bucks, something like that. And then the fan clutch was like 100 or 200, which again, not a big deal. What else happened? I had some damage to my trailer at one of the, on tour. I had some damage, and it was self-inflicted. It wasn't self-inflicted, but it was. I had to make a judgment call to essentially protect the artist, who was walking where he shouldn't have been, and I was actively backing up into the dock. And at this particular venue, the backstage door to get to the bus, the two docks were in the middle of it. And so as I was backing up, you know, the artist, I'm sure saw me, but figured he had enough time. But we had, you know, I have radios with the production team, and they're like, you know, stop, artist. And so I stopped. But when I, you know, obviously when you stop, you jam on the brakes. But at the point where I was, there was a pillar. And I just passed the pillar because I was navigating around the pillar. So when I jammed on the brakes, you know, when you stop on the brakes like that, you know, the trailer shifts. And so when it shifted, one of my doors caught on the pillar when it shifted, because it, you know, it shook when I stopped. I didn't know that, you know, and obviously, and I can't blame anybody else for it either, you know. I can't blame the artist. I can't blame the production. You know, production team doesn't drive, so they don't know what to look for when you're moving. And I didn't catch it, you know, in my mirror, because again, I just stopped, and in my mind, I had already missed that pillar, which I did, but I didn't account for the top of the trailer door to shake and literally catch just barely on the pillar. And the worst judgment call of all is me, you know, because I know when I slam on the brakes that I know I have to now reposition to make sure I still had that line. So I pull forward to get a new angle. That's where I messed up. So I pulled forward with my trailer caught on that pillar, and it took my door off the hinges. I'm like, ugh, on the middle of loadout is awful. But we MacGyvered that thing. You know, me, the production manager at the time, you know, bouncing ideas off each other. I'm calling repair places left and right. I'm calling the agent. I'm calling, you know, doing everything I can to make sure, because, you know, we have a show literally the next morning, and I'm doing everything in my power. Or not, I don't think it was next morning. I think we had a day in between. But obviously I can't drive down the road with one door. So we're bouncing ideas off each other, blah, blah, blah. I come up with this fantastic idea, because my trailer has 5 hinges on it, and I'm like, oh, let me just remove two of the bolts, or 2 of the hinges from the good door, and put it on the bad door, top and bottom. That way I can at least make it to a repair shop. Boom. We, you know, had labor there to help us. You know, I probably added about 45 to 50 minutes to the loadout time. You know, one, I was the last truck, so it wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, it was, but you know, obviously it was correctable. Excuse me. But got the door fixed, literally got down the road literally to the next shop, bought hinges, and then me and the other drivers, you know, because we had ladders, we got tools, we had everything we needed, we just put the new hinges on the door. Boom, problem solved. You know, so that was a bad thing that happened. My partner has been having some medical issues lately, so I've actually been having to take a lot of time off at home for that after the tour was over. That's another reason kind of for my absence, and you know, kind of another negative, honestly. Not honestly, but I'm really glad she's doing okay, but you know, I still have bills to pay. I still have bills to pay, but I'm glad I was blessed enough to be able to take the time off and make sure she's got what she needs, and you know, and not, you know, be homeless still because I had savings. So, you know, it's negative, but it's a positive in that. I also ended up losing my grandmother last year, or on Thanksgiving, and that took that was a bit, that was a good hit for me. You know, mentally more than emotionally. But you know, I'm not gonna dwell too much on that. I'll just go ahead and move on. But you know, aside from that, you know, basically just getting back to me, essentially. That's why I want to get back into content creating, because now it's like one, I feel like I say this every social media recovery time, you know what I mean? Like, I miss you guys. That's never changed. But I thought he was pulling into a bay. I'm like, what am I doing? I missed you guys, obviously, but now I don't really have that much to keep me away, you know, until touring season starts. But as far as like, you know, working super hard and being out, and I don't really have to do any of that. One, my stuff's paid off, but I don't really, you know, a lot of the stress came from, you know, working, but setting of essentially most of my money aside to make sure, you know, all my payments were made, all my bills are paid, you know, and I can only work so hard, especially being on tour. You can only work so hard, so you just have to be financially conscious of every decision you make. It's like, essentially, like, yeah, you get a steady check, and you just have, obviously, make sure that you're not spending all of it before you pay your bills, which for me really isn't a big deal, because, you know, I'll buy groceries and stuff, but I'll just eat at catering for the most part. You know, it saves me money, and then you're not really burning through that much fuel either. But anyway, at this point I'm rambling. I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm gonna get back to you guys. Like I said, I am super excited to hit the road and bring you guys with me. Another thing I wanted to honorable mention, riding with Kev, mentioned me in a couple of his videos, and you know, if you guys don't know riding with Kev, shoot out to his page. I met him at Prime. As a fellow content creator, I met him at Prime. I've watched that man grow, and he was already growing when I met him, because he had a channel at TMC before he came to Prime. So he's a flatbed guy, or is kind of. He started at TMC, came to Prime. I met him at Prime. We both left Prime. I think I left Prime before him. But basically, we both went off to become owner-operators. Only difference is I went to Landstar, and he got his own authority. And so, if you want to learn more about that kind of stuff, even though he's a year in now, I believe. If you guys wanted a resource for someone who's gone on, you know, who did the company drive, the leasing, and is now, you know, doing his own thing in power only, and with his own authority, go check out Riding with Kev. But he mentioned me in a video about, you know, consistency, or not me specifically. He made a video about consistency, and made a video saying, you know, about inspiration and accountability and things like that. And you know, the video really spoke to me. It was like, you know what, I need to start holding myself accountable, because I also want to come back to YouTube, because he took the same break I did. You know, life happens. You know, life happens. But like I said, super excited to be back out. Like I said, shout out to Ryder with Kev. You know, I reach out to you, brother. We'll catch up soon, because we got to catch up again this year. But like I always say, and I'll probably forever always say, if you're thinking, you might as well do it logically. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.